Good morning, Anand ji.
Good morning. Suprabhat.
What time baad? All set?
No time baat. Absolutely. I'm just. Yeah, this is better. Okay. मेरे को पूछना रहेगा था कि how do generally we dress up in the Sunday motivation? ऐसा formal चाहिए कि कुछ भी चलता है?
अब वो तो मुझे पता नहीं. मैं पहली बार वर्क क्लब में something.
Okay, no problems. Let me quickly try with my PPT. So the better option is that you first keep the PPT on and then switch ताकि आपका overall performance अच्छा हो जाए. So people don't realize आप क्या कर रहे हो.
जी.
So like that, so you don't need to click on these, full screen. ये वो सीधा आ गया ये.
सीधा आ गया. Correct.
Now I have a question. संजीव आपको दिख रही है PPT बराबर?
हाँ full screen.
Okay. और आप क्या दिख रहा है?
अभी मुझे आपका ये प्रेजेंट व्यू दिख रहा है.
साइड का नोट्स बोर्ड सब दिख रहा है?
सब दिख रहा है. हाँ.
ठीक है. Very good. Okay, so let me do it this way. This is better. ठीक है ना?
फुल स्क्रीन है अभी.
फुल स्क्रीन. मेरी आवाज ठीक है?
बिल्कुल एकदम क्लियर.
कुछ म्यूजिक बजा दे क्या?
तो बजा दो कुछ इंस्ट्रूमेंटल टाइप. अभी आपका वीडियो आवाज भी नहीं आ रही है.
सब दिख रहा है बराबर?
नहीं. योर वीडियो इज फ्रोजन.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? टेंशन मत दो. ओके.
अभी
तो
तक
नेट ठीक दिख रहा है.
आवाज तो आ रहा है बट.
हेलो हेलो
हेलो. मेरा आवाज आ रहा है आपको?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some internet issue,
Okay. Okay.
which is dangerous.
मेरा अब ठीक लग रहा है. Let's just see.
I was being invited by one of the very huge NGO in Kolhapur,
Hmm.
and they had participation from more than I think 15 countries. Some issue, they wanted me to talk about mental health.
Okay. Okay.
In the middle of the whole thing,
Hmm.
the internet just crashed, and I had to
Oh.
transfer myself on the mobile. और मैं switch कर रहा था. अच्छा मैं mental health पे बात कर रहा हूँ. Okay.
Hmm.
So obviously I cannot show कि मेरे चेहरे पे stress है, क्योंकि मैं mental health की बात कर रहा हूँ. It was such, and at the end people really appreciated यार आपने इतना confusion हुआ, because I kept on switching between mobile and laptop 2-3 times.
Okay.
I said wow यार such
Testing times.
testing. मैंने कहा किसी we are talking about mental health, and at this point in time where we are unpredictable ये वो, you have to maintain your mental. ऐसे तो dialogue मार के और एक dialogue मारा, I don't need, because laptop गया तो PowerPoint चला गया. I don't need my PowerPoint because my points are going to be powerful. ऐसा कुछ बोल के. That was good
Wow.
experience.
Nice.
कुछ भी हो सकता है पप्पू, ऐसा है. Okay. So we also have Mithali. Mithali की आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
No. That's me only.
That's you only.
Logged in.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
I'll just rename.
So I'll just give me 2 minutes. I'll just drink water and come back, है ना?
Sure.
And इसको sharing रखनी है ऐसा कि नहीं रखना है?
ये PPT को
Hmm.
देखो, I mean, if you ask me at the beginning of the session, जब आप participants को welcome करोगे, तभी अगर PPT नहीं होगा तो क्या आप full screen में रहोगे?
हाँ.
Right. So participants को to see you welcoming would be nice in full screen, and then you can start the.
ठीक है. Okay.
है ना?
Thank you.
Raghavan, can you unmute yourself?
संजीव,
हाँ जी,
आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ आ रही है ना.
Because now I thought let me try with the wire or the earphones.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Clear.
super. Uh, what time will enter people?
Should I start broadcasting now?
No. I think 10 o'clock.
Acha.
Not 10.
Okay. Because until I click on broadcast, people won't be able to enter.
I understand. How many people can you see outside?
I can't see.
Okay. कोई बात नहीं. But I think because time 10 ka hai, it's always nice to enter people on dot on time.
Now, yesterday when I did it for Swapnil, 9:50, as in 5 minutes before we started.
5 minutes? तो end कर लो, ठीक है.
हाँ, कर लूँ?
I'll just play the music.
Okay. I'm clicking on broadcaster now.
Welcome Tanvin, Manish, Rajesh, welcome. Okay, good morning, each one of you. I'm Anand Mehta. I'm very happy to be with you here. And today we are going to do something amazing stuff on continuing the Sunday motivation series. Before we have all the participants in, I have a small request just to make ourselves slightly better and also to know that yes, we are all committed to do a great job. I have a simple question, and the question is, are you ready? Go to the chat box and write down. Are you ready? Go to the chat box. So yeah, wonderful. Jagat, Ganpate, Sarvana, Fancy, Ganesh, Vidhate. Wow. Thank you very, very much for this motivation which I'm getting through each one of you in the means of your yes. Thank you. Shivlika, Manish, thank you. Nitin Kumar, wonderful. So before we start, I have a small request. If you can just type in the city you are from right now. So right now, from which city? Go to the chat box and write down your city for us to know that we have people from which all cities. Chennai, Hardoi, Pune, Bangalore. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Super, guys, super. Keep writing. Manish Panikar is from Mumbai. Amchi, Mumbai. Shivarkar is Nagpur, Maharashtra. Wonderful. So Jagat is from Chennai. Sorry, Ganapati is from Chennai. Jagat from Jaipur. Okay. Fancy Goel from Delhi. Namaskar, Fancy Goel ji. Sarvana Kumar from Chennai. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very, very much for your super positive response. And this is incredible. You know why? Because throughout this session, we are going to make it super interactive. And that interaction mode is going to be the chat box. It was just for me to feel that yes, all of us are prepared to be a participant. I know that now we have a kind of integration from all over India when we see participants from all east, west, north, south. Ghaziabad, Pratyush from Ghaziabad, wonderful. Sarvana from Chennai, Satish Kumar from Chennai, great, great. Wonderful, guys. Super. Thank you very, very much for your super positive response. And quickly start on with our today's session. It's going to be a very, very special session for all of us today because this session has huge potential to make a big, big, big difference the way we work, the way we think, and most importantly, the way we do our particular job. Now, this session, and especially any session which we talk about under the banner of motivation, it's very important to realize that we are going to make it happen. You and me. And I have a small request. The request is that in this session, to make it learning to each one of us, let's create a platform where everyone starts contributing your ideas, your wisdom, your understanding, your experience. Look at the value of this platform, and all of us are allowed to pick up whatever we think is good for us. Just pick it up. That means all of us are learning from each other. And I think that's the power of this kind of session where we are going to be extremely active, extremely open to newer ideas and ensuring that what we are going to do will make a big difference in everyone's life. Because on this platform, when all of us have, let's perform in one strong team. So once again, a big welcome on Sunday Motivational Series. And today's subject is famous failure. Famous failure. Why famous failure? Because there are people who are super famous, super famous, but their whole journey was filled with tremendous amount of failures. And how they rose from those ashes, how they survived, and not only survived, but grew along with their own passion, along with their own dedication. And this journey, today's journey of around 60 to 90 minutes is going to make each one of us get a good feel that yes, it is possible. Whenever we say impossible, the spelling itself says I am possible. And how these wonderful famous people made it possible, grew from failures, is the subject what we're going to do. So I have a small requirement, or I have a small request to be super participative. Let's first of all go through a couple of ground rules, which I'm sure all of us are aware of. It says, for ease of conducting the session, please type yes in the chat box. And you've already done, no need to do it right now. If you can see the presenters, yes, you are able to see me. You're able to see the presentation also. I will take questions at the end of each module, at the end of the class, and you can chat, you can raise hand, you can ask me any question answer to the Q&A box, right? So super, we are all ready. Before we begin, I would request you to give me a small commitment. This commitment is going to be for super participation. Throughout the session, I'm going to keep throwing you some amazing points and questions, and your response will really add value to the whole presentation. So let's begin. Understanding failure. And I have a very simple question here with each one of you, that whenever this word comes in front of you, which is primarily a failure, what do you think comes in your mind when you look at this word failure? Thank you, Pratish, for that commitment. We'll say, we will. Now I have a simple question. When you look at this word failure, what is that one word which comes in your mind? What do you think is the first word? Extempore, impulsively, which word do you think comes in your mind? Okay, Ganapati is saying competitions. Wow, super. Mohammed is saying defeat. Yeah, failure, you failed, haar gaye, defeated. Okay, keep writing, guys, keep writing. Naval is saying, I have to try once more. Yeah, once more I will try. Saying, try another time. Wow. Shikha Sharma is saying, struggle, mehnat, sangharsh. Right. Fancy Goel is saying, not performing well. That something must have something must have gone wrong, or I did not perform well, and I have to now face failure. Satish Kumar is saying, first step to success. Absolutely, Satish. What a positive way of looking failure. Wow. Tanmay is saying, by seeing at bulb image, Thomas Alva Edison story. Absolutely. And Thomas Alva Edison story is one of the most popular story, a real story, a true story of how a failure got converted into super duper success. And we'll discuss about that. Super. Debashish is saying, not getting desired results. Absolutely. Saksham Jain is saying acceptance, that we need to accept the failure the way it comes. Nitin Kumar is saying victory. Wow, what a wonderful positive way to look at failure as a victory. Super. Jagat Singh is saying to understand what goes wrong. So reflective, introspectiveness is what we bring in when we look at failure. Guys, I must thank you. What all things you are bringing in here is really adding value. So keep doing this. Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. Vinay is saying opportunity. Every failure, according to Vinay, is a very, very big opportunity. Thank you very, very much. Let me show you what I have bought, because failure is something which all the people who have gained tremendously in their life have always come across this concept, this experience of failure. Primarily, the absence or lack of success. It is just a step towards success. Failure is primarily probably a stepping stone towards success. People who think that I'm going to be successful in the first go are expecting too much from them. There are cases where people have got success in the first go, but history says that when people have realized or experienced failure, their growth path has gone much, much above. Next point. It says it is the inability to reach a certain goal you have set for your life or yourself. So in childhood, we have been told primarily that, make mistakes. It's okay. You learn from it. It's important. But the way we keep growing, somehow we forgot. It's okay. And sometimes people who make mistakes are the only people who are genuinely contributing. So understanding failure, it also says it is an inability to reach a certain goal you have set for your life, for yourself. And the third point, failure is necessary for success. I think this is one of the most important critical point. As one of you mentioned, Satish says first step towards success. Someone says stepping stone towards success. Failure is necessary for success. Any big success will not be able to achieve without some failures. But today we are going to discuss about few people who don't have some failures, but major failures. But then how did they grow is going to be today's endeavor. Now, failure is important. It's very, very important to realize that failure is really very important, and why. Everyone who has ever truly succeeded, has overcome hurdles and pushed through times of difficulty. Failure motivates them to keep going, to keep getting better. There's one very important line which says that only the rough, no nice sea or no sober sea will make a sailor a good sailor. Only with the rough sea, when you come with some challenges, when you come with some failure, defeats, that's the only way you have to find a way to grow. Everyone who has truly succeeded has overcome hurdles. It's very important to realize that when you have failures, it must give you that kick to make it even bigger. Failure gives us experience, and failure gives us knowledge. So when you do something yourself, that's the time where you have the first-hand experience. You have the first-hand knowledge, and that knowledge and experience which you have gained yourself, or the example of Edison, 1,000 times plus, he could not succeed to make a bulb, commercial bulb, which is viable commercially. But he never felt that, oh, I'm failing back to back. But instead of that, he says, now I know 1,000 ways a bulb can be made. Now that's a great positive way, but the knowledge and the experience, what he gained throughout the process, made a big difference in making him succeed in a great way. And today, all of us know that there are more than 1,000 trademark patents in the name of Edison. Now, how that was possible? Only with the help of resilience. Failure helps in building resilience. It's very, very important. What it means by resilience, it is primarily your capability to bounce back. Have you seen that Dorimo dolls, where you have a doll, you punch that doll, and the doll comes back. The doll goes back and comes back automatically. Now, that is called bouncing back. That each time you meet within failure, you have a choice. You have a choice to either remain in that state, remain in that negativity, or defeat that failure and again come back and start working towards the success. Now, bouncing back, resilience is something which allows you to do that. It says more the failure, more the resilience, because it gives you tremendous amount of energy, power, potential to ensure that you come back to your real state, to go back and fight, go back and earn, go back and strike for a better success. A country which is very, very famous, Israel, for its commandos. Israel gets the best of the commandos. And why? The armed forces of Israel is very, very famous for their high-profile commandos. Okay, Saravana is saying that's a great positive attitude and showing great motivation. Only then a person can say that I know 1,000 ways that is not okay. Great, wonderful. So I was talking about Israel. Now, world over, Israel's commandos team are considered to be one of the best commando team, daredevils. And the kind of operations they have done is amazing, amazing. In the format of interviewing, in which they get the commandos, they get the recruitment for making them a commando, there is one question always asked in the interviewing process of the commando for the Israel army. And they say, give me 2 biggest failure of your life, and please let me know how did you overcome that. Now, in the process, if you never had any failure, you are rejected. Can you believe this? You are rejected if you never have faced any failure. For you to become great, how Israel armed forces thinks that failure is something which really makes you better, because it's not the failure. It's what you do with the failure. How you come back. What kind of resilience you have. How you bounce back. And today, I want to introduce you to a new word. Instead of bounce back, can you make it to bounce forward? Bounce forward. Bounce forward. But bounce forward is with the experience. Let me go ahead and look forward. Look ahead. Look at my vision and then keep working towards it. So each time, whenever you listen to a word bounce back, think about the word bounce forward. Why? Because when you look at forward, you are not only focusing on the failure, you are learning from the failure, but most importantly, you are looking at a bigger picture, which you have set for yourself to achieve. So again, failure is very, very important. I'm sure all of you are thinking that so many times when we fail, we think about, oh, the life is ended. But today, I am using or glorifying failure primarily to ensure we learn from our knowledges. I've heard of someone very big person saying that don't make mistakes, make blunders and learn from it. But don't only learn from your own mistakes, learn from others' mistakes also. And most importantly, when you are learning from your mistakes, do not repeat your mistake. Keep doing new mistakes each time. It's okay to make new mistakes, but learn from your mistakes. One person also said that look at the Gandhiji. Now, Gandhiji had so many mistakes in his childhood. In fact, much more mistakes probably he must have done than you and me. But what was the best part? He never repeated his mistake. Even when he did something, he theft his money, his father's money. I'm sure we haven't done that. But he realized. And then what is best part? That he never thought about doing that. The whole concept of satya, ahimsa, aparigraha, all that came through that childhood where he kept growing bigger and bigger and never did repeat his mistake. Wow, super guys. I'm very happy. Ganapati is saying that in my personal life experience, yes, you feel that. To be very honest, I want all of you, when I'm going to take through this session, keep reflecting, keep introspecting about each point of those people. And after sharing their journey, after sharing their life, before we move on, I'm going to ask you one very, very basic, simple question. And what did you learn from that person's life, right? So get ready to go on a journey with me with the first person. And I would like to know from you who this person is. Go to the chat box and write down who this person is, what you see on your screen. I'm sure all of us know. Okay, J.K. Rowling by Chetan Natraju. Okay. Mohammed Amir saying J.K. Rowling. Sarvana Kumar is saying, to be honest, I don't know. Sarvana, thank you very much for being so honest. Thank you very, very much. That's a great quality I see in you. Tanmay, J.K. Rowling, Fish, saying the right answer. Chinna Swami saying, I don't know. That's absolutely okay, guys. There is no need for us to know everything, but what's important that we keep learning, we keep learning, we keep growing. Yes, you are absolutely right. The answer is J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter writer, J.K. Rowling. It's an amazing story, which I'm going to share with you. Listen to the story very, very carefully, because the story is so much powerful. The story can make a big difference only by learning. Right now, what we know is the J.K. Rowling, the most celebrity author of the world, whose books have been sold n number of times, million times. All the Harry Potter, we have seen movies, we have read books, but look at the journey of J.K. Rowling. Went from struggling, single mom, she was a single mom, to the world's most successful author. How this journey happened? Let me begin with her childhood. Her parents weren't very well off nor highly educated. Now, it's very important to realize that she was brought up in a very, very humble family. The father was an aviation engineer in Rolls-Royce. The mother was a high school science technician. Both of them got married when they were at the age of 20, and both of them have not gone to high school. They were going through a lot of tough times in her days. And at that point in time, when Rowling was a little kid, she started writing her first story in the age of 5 and 6. And she used to give all her stories to her younger sister, Jenna. Now, that's how a very, very humble beginning happened. She was always inclined towards learning, towards reading, towards writing. But parents never thought that writing can give you bread and butter. They always thought that writing and writer and all that business is not for us. So they never encouraged Rowling to do that. But within her mind, J.K. Rowling always felt that she wanted to contribute immensely in the writing space. Now, it's very important to realize that you have a passion, you have something very, very interesting happening within yourself, but you don't find environment by any which way supporting you. What happens? Rowling was extremely connected, emotionally connected to her mother. And the life grew, but it was very, very tough. Why? Because when Rowling was at the age of 15, her mother developed so many multiple sclerosis in her body. And then she survived for 10 years, and her mother died when she was just 25, before she could become a published author. Now you have a tough life, you don't have enough money, and someone with whom you are emotionally connected dies at the age of 25, and you are 25. Now, that's not the age where a mother should die, frankly. Now, she was completely shattered. She had no idea. She was completely blank at that point in time. You have so many responsibilities. You are growing, you are writing, but you lose your mother. Now, a big failure in her life. After graduating, Rowling worked a desk job. Now, when she got graduation in BA and also with classics and literature, for survival, she joined a job. It was a job of translation and secretary job. But Rowling was one of the most unorganized person. So she could not manage any kind of secretary work. She could not even barely manage the translation job. She used to sit in the meetings, but in the meetings, she would scribble on the notepad with her ideas and stories. She would think about the name of the character, what she would do in her, in her stories. Now, that was the way she was completely inclined only and only towards writing. At the age of 26, she moved to Portugal to teach English because she thought, hey, let me get into some kind of teaching field, primarily to earn bread and butter, because her calling was always writing. There she met a Portuguese TV news reporter, and both of them got married. And they also had a daughter called Jessica. Now, what is interesting, that this was a time where in a delayed train, she was traveling to London in a train, and she thought of this idea of Harry Potter. She said, wow, this is something which is amazing. And that idea stuck with it. This is a time, somewhere around 1991, where she started writing Harry Potter. I want you to remember this year, 1991, where we started writing Harry Potter. But then there was so much of turbulence in her personal life. Her marriage was extremely rocky and lasted for only 13 months. She returned to live in Edinburgh, Scotland, with her daughter. She also had one miscarriage. Now think about a personal life. A very, very struggling marriage, a miscarriage, now a daughter, and single mother and daughter moving to Edinburgh, Scotland. Now you don't have a job. You don't have money. Neither you have any stability. Now that's a tough phase of your life. In that phase, she lived in a cramped apartment with her daughter. She was jobless, penniless, and she soon fell into deep depression and even considered suicide. In one of the interviews, she says that it was not about feeling miserable. It was not about feeling bad. It was all about feeling like doing suicide. Look at a struggle of an individual who's trying to write a book, which then became the world's most famous, popular book. At that point in time, she thought of attempting suicide. Look at the condition, mental, physical, emotional, what one person goes through where you have a little girl child with you, you are a single mother and no job. She was forced to rely on state benefits and spent her time writing Harry Potter in cafes with her daughter sleeping next to her. Just think about it. In a prawn, her daughter is sleeping, and you don't have even a proper place to write. You're going and visiting different cafes to write. Now look at, she neither had a writer, means neither someone who can type or write, and neither she could afford a computer. At that point in time, she used to roam around with her typewriter. And all those more than 90,000 words for the first book, she has typed herself. When she moved to Edinburgh, she had few clothes and all bunch of papers, her initial writing of her books. In those phases, can you believe she was able to visualize and envision more than 7 books of Harry Potter? Now the time is going and she's not able to complete her book. She's writing and going through this very, very tough terrain. At one point in time, she said, this is something which no one should ever experience in a life. The kind of bad state I have experienced, she says, not even my enemy should ever feel like going through that. In 1995, Rowling finished her first Harry Potter book and sent it for publisher. She said, now I'm ready with my book. In 1995, think about it, I've asked you that in 1991, the idea came. 1995, she was ready with her first book. He said, wow, now the book is ready, easy, go and publishers. But it was rejected by 12 publisher. You go to a publisher, show your content and reject. Go to second one, show your content, reject. Now, rejection is the biggest issue when you are going through tough phase and you're failing. Each time you are rejected, think about it, that you have spent 4 to 5 years in writing one book, and now you have all the important things in that book. You said, now it's my life, it's everything is there, and you say, you get no. All the biggies, all the big publishing house denied. One of the most difficult phase. It took her 1 year where she would move to each and every publisher, convince them, influence them, nothing worked. Rowling finally signed a deal with a small publisher because, this publisher's CEO's daughter was 8-year-old and she read this book and she said, hey, this is interesting. And CEO said, if my daughter feels it's interesting, let us try. And the book then became a massive hit. They initially printed only 500 copies and say, hey, let me send it to a few libraries and find out how they respond. But within no time, within a year, the book was finally published and printed and published in 1997. And it became a massive hit in UK and then in US, where the US publisher paid $1,000 and that was a time in 1999 she could actually buy a home, a shelter for herself and her daughter. In 1998, Warner Brothers bought the film rights to the first 2 Harry Potter books. And now, as we know, there are multiple series. We have all of us have seen so many movies, but look at the story, filled with failures, filled with rejection, and how she kept on consistently working on what she was extremely passionate. And today, she's the world's biggest celebrity author on this planet. Don't you think it's an amazing story to start off with? But what's interesting here and most important here is to find out that what she felt, that rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. I had failed on an epic scale. An exceptionally short-lived marriage had imploded and I was a jobless, alone parent, as poor as it was possible to be in Britain without being homeless. Now that was her condition. And here at this point in time, I would like to invite you that what do you think? You have learned lessons from her life. Please go to the chat box and tell me that what are the lessons you think you have learned by understanding the life of Rowling. So please tell me, looking at her amazing journey of struggle, amazing journey of full of challenges, what are your learnings? Wow, Vinay is saying perseverance, absolutely, keep focused, keep working. Fancy saying patience and failure is the key to success, brilliant. Harmeet is saying never give up, wow. Ganapati is saying don't give up her passion to achieve. Sarvana is saying persistence, brilliant. Ganesh is saying believe in yourself, believe in your idea, believe in what you think you're good at. Sudarshan is saying failure is stepping stone of success, brilliant. Nawal Shah is saying identify the passion within you and don't give up until you achieve it. Brilliant. Chinna Swami saying confident. Sairaj is saying trust your skills. Sainath is saying awaiting for right chance at right time. Wow. Saravana is saying definitely never give up quality. Pratyush saying accept rejection. Brilliant, guys, super. This is so much amazing the way all of you are contributing. I'm so much happy. Let me share a couple of lessons which I would like to bring for each one of you, which I have bought for each one of you. Fancy saying, Fancy saying, can I please share the previous? Sure, I will share. Fancy, this one. Nitin is saying, try to achieve our goal or the idea, what we really want to achieve. Brilliant. Arunima is saying she always wanted to be a writer. She didn't let anything stop her from doing that. Thank you, Arunima. Okay, so let me share a couple of lessons which I would like to share with each one of you. Don't give up. The most important thing. Once you are sure of what you want to achieve, don't give up on it. J.K. Rowling was rejected 12 times, but she did not stop. Think about it in your life. And I want now you to become more reflective, more introspective, primarily to realize that have I gone through these kind of phases? And what was my response to that? Number one, don't give up. Number two, stay focused and be patient. Success takes time. Understand that beginning can be tough. So people who expect that, hey, overnight I'm going to get success, or within few initial attempts, I will be super successful, an influencer, a kind of, a rocking star, you will be. It will take time. If you look at Rowling, she spent more than 5 years in writing her book. She was focused. In spite of felt that let me stop doing this and get into something which will give me money right now. But she never did that. Her inner passion kept her motivated, and that also leads to having a lot of patience. It's very, very important. Think about it. If she would have left writing, would have never ever got Harry Potter. Now, it's very important to realize that once you are focused, so many times we don't even have to have patience for 5 days or 5 months. Here, she could keep her patience for more than 5 years for that, her first book to release. Now, that's something very, very important. We need to be focused. We need to be patient. And along with that, we need to disbar all our doubt. And then the success will be yours. Take responsibility. No matter what someone did to you or what your background is, there comes a time that you can hold on. Sanjeev, am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let me quickly share. Apologies for that small disturbance. Today, in the era of technology, all of us are dependent on our Wi-Fi, and there may be some technical glitch. But you are with me and I'm with you. That connection is something which is very, very important. Fine. So the last point is, no matter what someone did to you, what your background is, there comes a time that you can hold on. One else is responsible for outcomes of yourself. Now, a single mother, a small little baby girl with you, you need to take responsibility. You need to ensure that your passion must give you fruits, keep perseverance, and keep working towards it. When you don't take responsibility, what you are ultimately leading towards is blame game. And I call that is the oar. The oar, what we use when we sail through, is something very, very important. And we need to move above our bad. Yeah, Pratyush is saying, that's a thought. It was not failure of J.K. Rowling, her success delayed. It was failure of 12 publishers. They can't see success in her stories. Pratyush, heads off. I think a brilliant positive thought, what you are giving to me. She didn't blame anyone else for the situation she was in. She took the complete responsibility. Now, when we are on a bed, okay, we are not active. We are lying. And when you are on bed, what has happening? It's BED. We are blaming other. We are giving excuses, and we are in the denial mode. Blame, excuse, and denial. But if we grow from that and take the oar in our hands to sail through the journey of our life, it is OAR, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And that is exactly what she did to herself. That she didn't blame anyone, she didn't give any excuse, never denial, but keep working towards a big success. And today all of us know that she is. So thank you very, very much for your support. And thank you very, very much for your response in the chat box. Please keep doing this so that all of us are learning from each other. Right. And now I'm sure all of us know this gentleman, Narendra Modi. Quickly, let me take all of you through the journey of Narendra Modi. Journey from a tea seller, a tea vendor, to the Prime Minister of India. But more than a Prime Minister of India, one of the most famous politician, famous leader on the planet. Look at the journey. Narendra Modi was born to a poor, a very humble family of grocers in Gujarat. Her childhood was as tough as lakhs of those children who were born in the post-independence era, where India as a nation was still struggling with things like poverty and unemployment. So he has seen all that in very much in his childhood. He performed meager jobs such as selling tea on railway platform just to earn those couple of coins, and continued going to school. Now that's interesting. A lot of people who leave their education and do all these jobs, but he continued going to the school. As a child, Narendra Modi had one dream: to serve in the Indian Army. As luck would have it, his family was dead opposed to the idea. Now that's the typical mentality we see into a lot of families, where they don't feel like making their child go to armed forces, to Indian Army. But Narendra Modi always had one bigger picture, bigger dream within himself, is to serve the nation. Narendra Modi was very keen to study in Sainik School, located nearby Jamnagar, because Jamnagar is a huge army base and has a wonderful Sainik School. But when the time came to pay the fees, there was no money at home. Surely, Narendra was disappointed with not being able to wear the uniform of a Jawan. So when you have that one dream of getting into army, going through a Sainik school is one of the easiest and the most proper way to get into armed forces. But the family never supported. However, he did not stop him from his ultimate dream to serve the nation. Now that's a journey where you have failures, where you have struggles, where you have so many opposition. At one point in time, USA denied his visa. And after a few years, the president of USA invited him as the chief guest. Now that's the power, that you fail, but you perseverance and you keep working towards it, and the whole universe helps you to achieve that. Lesson learned: don't let your setbacks or your circumstances stop you from achieving your goals. Never ever let that circumstances stop you. Narendra Modi had a dream in his mind to serve his nation. He did not let his humble background stop him from meeting his goal. And interestingly, now with great pride, he says that, yes, I had a humble background, but that's the power of the inner perseverance, inner passion that you can grow, whichever you can dream about, you can think about. Now that's something interesting. Let's move on to the next amazing personality. And I would again request you to please go to the chat box and write down who this person is. I'm sure all of us know this person. Okay, now I'll say OAR, OAR means ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Yes, you are right. Walt Disney, Chetan, Muhammad, Yogesh, Nitin, super answer. None other than Walt Disney, where all of us have enjoyed, or we still enjoy, Mickey Mouse, the creator of Mickey Mouse, the creator of Disneyland, and so many amazing places where he calls the most happiest place on the earth? Walt Disney. Yes. So let's quickly go through his journey. Walt Disney's rocky road of success. What is the journey? Oh yeah, Nitin Singh, I love this journey. Absolutely. I also love that, Nitin. Thank you. Now, when Walt Disney was a little child, and let me begin from the childhood, because I believe me, the childhood struggles, what has happened in your childhood days always creates a much bigger impact on you. At the age of 9, he was working 7 days a week as a newspaper delivery boy. Now think about it. You are in a very, very humble family where your father has a newspaper printing business. And he compels you to get up at 3:30 in the morning, go to the press, pick up the bunch of newspapers and go to the people's houses and deliver. Then quickly you go to your school. From the school, straight you come to the printing press of newspaper, again work in the evening, and with complete tiredness, physical, mental, you go back home. In the winter days, it was even tough. It was so cold that so many times Walt would hide under the bunch of papers just to get some warmth. But his father was a tough guy. He had a volcanic anger and he kept on doing new business and he kept on failing. And all of these anger, his son became the target. Even he says that when he was at the age of 40, so many times in the middle of a night, the scene would come in front of him where his father is waiting, where he may have made some small mistake, and then he gets a tough time. And he used to get up in the night just by dreaming that. Now he had a very, very tough childhood. He was the 4th son in the whole sibling, 5 siblings altogether. And other elder brothers would run away from house. Now this guy did this 3:30 a.m. getting up and delivery for more than 6 years. And did he earn something out of it? No. His father would not give him anything and just abuse him mentally and physically with abusive languages, by violating and all more and so many stuff. Now look at a child who is from 9 to 15 have going through so many different issues. Business, and then interestingly, they were from Missouri and he was working in a Missouri local newspaper. And can you believe the Missouri newspaper fired Walt Disney? You know for what reason? They say he's not creative. Someone who have made the epitome, is like an epitome of creativity, was fired from the newspaper because he was not creative. When he grew, his first company, which was Laugh-O-Gram Studio, struggled to generate enough money to stay afloat. Disney slept on the floor of his office, showered at the train station, and ate cold beans from a can. He did this for a couple of years. Despite his efforts, Laugh-O-Gram went bankrupt and Disney was back to living in poverty. Now you open up a company, you create something, and ultimately you are not able to survive anything. He made a small movie also, Alice in the Wonderland, which was a hit, but could not generate enough money. At this point in time, he was completely shattered. Why? Your first company, first initiative, and now you are jobless, you are moneyless. You are now responsible to the money which you have lended from your relatives, your friends, and other people. And you feel so bad, so devastated that I took their money and now I'm not able to pay them back. And my business is completely bankrupt. With just $40, he went to Los Angeles to try his hand in acting. He said, hey, if the business is not working, let me go in acting field. And he miserably failed that also. So you have a failed business, you have a failed career as an actor. What you do? Someone who brings a lot of happiness on our face through his animation was in bad state at this point in time. He thought in California at that point in time there were not enough animation companies, and he always was inclined towards animation. He said, let me start an animation company. So Disney finally found his major success with the creation of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And he created this small, amazing creature, but the failure was just about to happen. It was waiting. In spite of him being able to create a super successful animation called the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, he soon discovered that his producer had taken his team of animators and that he no longer had a legal rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbits. So producer took away all the animators, and because he had no legal things has done, he could not do anything. From California, he went to New York to make this person understand, hey, this is my job. But he realized that there's no point making these people understand because they are playing all the dirty games. In the train journey, when he was coming back from New York to California, just think about it. You had the biggest tough time of your life. You created something and has been stolen by someone else. And you cannot do anything legal. And he also thought that even if I go into legal battle, I have no strong sides on my end. But what I have strong in with me is my own creativity, my own passion, my own amazing zeal to make it bigger. If I can create a rabbit, I can also create something new, something great. And from a big defeat in New York with that legal things about they stealing the rabbit, in the journey from from New York to California, he thinks about a character which all of us popularly today know as Mickey Mouse. Think about it. In the most devastated time, you are thinking about how can I become bigger? How can I become better? And show to the world that yes, I am capable. I can do it. After years of struggle, Disney finally brought Mickey Mouse to life and on his way back to the top. But he went to bankers to support him. And how many rejections? 300. 300 times he was rejected by banks to support him for this venture of Mickey Mouse to move into animation. So struggles and failures was continuously happening. Even with successful Mickey Mouse, Disney still faced challenges in keeping the business afloat because in this business, there were so many competition. In this business, there were people who were taking away his animators. And animation is something very, very important in this. His animator went on strike during World War II. Now, he is a person who has seen World War I and World War II. During World War I, he was even less than 18 and he showed up and he said, and he asked people, and he was driving an ambulance to survive. In World War II, again, a defeat happened where all his animators went on strike. Think about it. And after the war was over, his company was slow to rebuild. However, Disney learned to diversify his business by turning to television despite pressures from the film studios to stay on the big screen. Now, at that point in time, he had super pressure that you should not go to television, but he diversified. With the business acumen, he diversified and a couple of shows became super duper hit on the television. He diversified also into like a Disneyland. But the opening of Disneyland in the 1955 was a major disaster. The first day, and newspaper printed it as Black Sunday. Why? Because people printed forged tickets. More than 3 times people came on that day. The queue to enter Disneyland was 7 miles long because they all had duplicate tickets. A lot of things, a lot of rides didn't work on that day. The plumber went on strike and one of the most popular fountain never worked. And the local newspaper printed as the Black Sunday. Think about it, the kind of defeats, the kind of failures Walt Disney has had in his life. But now, we all know what Mickey Mouse is, what Walt Disney is. And he was able to create the most happy place on the earth through all these amazing initiatives. At this point in time, what I would like to share what he says, all the adversity I've had in my life, all the troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Wow, what an amazing journey. So again, at this point in time, I would like to invite you to please go to the chat box and tell me, what did you personally learn from the journey of this amazing failures reaching to some super success? Nitin is saying, that you love his journey. So now please tell me, from his journey, what is your takeaways in terms of learning? Yoga is saying resilience, absolutely. The ability to bounce back, the ability to come back to successful strikes continuously and consistently. Brilliant. Wow. Yeah, Pratyush, you have picked up. Pratyush saying bounce forward. Wonderful. Ganesh is saying his inner passion. Brilliant, guys. Super. Keep writing. It's amazing, amazing successful journey what we see through Walt Disney. Mithil is saying live for purpose. Satish is saying we want to drive or move forward. Right. Ganapati is rock success with super failures. Yogesh is saying make every small step count. Nothing goes waste. Absolutely. Nothing goes waste. And this reminds me that when focus on your target. Sudarshan is saying no matter how great the setback, how hard it is, never give up on your work, believe in yourself. Wow. Sarvana is saying when someone said he's not creative and rejected him, he developed his creative skills and proved his critics were wrong. In short, learn from critics. Absolutely. Super, guys. Super. Thank you very, very much. Let me now bring in a couple of learning which I have bought for each one of you. Nitin Kumar saying, Walt sure always follow their heart. This is a right thing. Absolutely. Follow your heart. First learning which I want to bring for each one of you, a lesson. Realize failure is not the end of the road. You can always find a way to move on from failure. From the first time when he was being fired by the newspaper for not being creative was a failure. Each time he opened his business, there was failure. But failure was not the end of the road. He found a way out. So many times, the moment we hit a roadblock, we hit a failure, we feel, hey, now this is the end of the road. We can't move in, but we can move here from here. We can move from here. Just like a river. River picks up the less resistance path. But river keeps flowing. River always keeps flowing. That's way, the moment we find a roadblocks, we need to find an alternative. The failure is not the end of the road. Forgive yourself for your mistakes, learn from them and move on. Now this is very, very important. As I mentioned earlier, that you'll do mistakes. But what's most important, that learn from your mistakes. And don't only learn from your own mistakes, even learn from others' mistakes. The life is short to learn everything from our own mistakes. So it's very important that we keep learning from each other's mistakes also. Instead of running away from failure, Disney ran towards it and turned adversity from foe to ally. He learned from each failure and used failure as a solid foundation of success so that you never make the same mistake again and keep growing in the journey where you really want to achieve. Sometimes failure simply means changing direction. It is not the end of the road. There could be a bend of the road. So when you are facing any failures, you simply change your direction. From a big movies to he moved to television was a change. From television, he moved to amusement parks was a great change. So change is something which is very, very important for you to continue your journey of success through failures. That's amazing. Thank you very, very much for your super contribution. Let's move on and tell me who this person is. I'm sure all of us know this person. Go to the chat box and tell me who this person is. Amazing story I'm going to share about this person's life. Michael Jordan. Absolutely, Muhammad Amir. Right answer. Sahi jawab. So here what we see is a super basketball champion. One word which is completely associated with Michael Jordan is champion. And he is a champion of the sport. He's a champion of his attitude. He's a champion when he plays the game. But Michael Jordan also had a very, very tough life. Life full of failure, which primarily began when he was just a 15-year young. Michael Jordan's relationship with failure. And let's go through this amazing journey of Michael Jordan. In 1978 Super Bowl, Michael Jordan tried out for the varsity basketball team at his high school, but he didn't make it. Was he not a good player? He was a good player. So the day when the results were supposed to get announced, with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of feeling that yes, my name would be printed on the list of the selected player in their locker room. When Michael Jordan went to check that room, and the list was there, but his name was not there. Now that was, at that point in time, his life biggest dream, biggest objective to get selected in the varsity basketball senior team. But his name was not there. He felt so devastated. He felt so frustrated, so much suspected that he went home straight. No one was there in his home. Still, he locked himself into a room and cried. He cried like anything because he could not accept this defeat. And at that point in time, when he faced this failure of not being able to select, he made one decision in his mind. The decision was to quit basketball, to quit sports. Think about it. At the age of 15, when he met the first failure, he decides to quit basketball, decides to quit sports. When his mother realized that he's thinking all these, he motivated him. She motivated him. She made him realize the bigger picture. Now, what is interesting here, that what happened, there's one strong thing what I really want everyone to pick up from here, that whatever happens, happens for good. The selector, the decision makers had a bigger vision. What the vision was? That this was a strategic decision. But to Jordan, it was the ultimate failure. He was heartbroken and ready to give up sports. Now, why it's a strategic decision? Because if Jordan would have been selected in the senior team, there were so many senior people already playing and 3 or 4 junior people. So one of his friend was selected from the junior team. But Jordan would be asked to not to play all the games and would be called in only when required. But if he would have continued in the junior play games, then he would have get more chances to play and he would probably make his game better. And exactly that happened. So here, for Michael Jordan, it was a big rejection, but for strategists, for the coaches, it was a great way they could ensure that Michael Jordan was able to reach out to his pinnacle. Move on. However, he let his failure and disappointment drive him to be better. He played on the junior team and he worked himself to the limit whenever he felt tired. He remembered how he felt when he didn't make the varsity team, and that pushed him to keep going. This is incredible. This is so amazing. Each time, whenever Michael Jordan used to feel tired, he said, oh, now it's too much. He used to think about that one piece of paper in the locker room which did not have his name. And that one setback, one failure made him strive him, go again and again to achieve the bigger purpose of winning and playing. It became a pattern throughout Jordan's life that a disappointment or setback resulted in rebounding of effort. One of the senior school computer team's captain once said that each time Michael Jordan faces a failure, faces a defeat, it helps him to redoubling his efforts in terms of moving towards success. But think about it. When you're growing in the journey, you are always on the national TV. You are always being watched by so many people. And the analytics and the critics are always eager to give a comment on you. If you understand how you feel, think about in the world, the research has made that people fear, what is the people's biggest fear? And it was found public speaking is the biggest fear. Do people don't know how to speak? No, they know how to speak. Do they don't have enough content, good content? They do have enough content. They do have good content. Do you think they don't have good ideas or thoughts? They do have. In spite of all these, that they are able to speak, they have content, they have good ideas, they still have huge fear in public speaking. It's not about you. It's all about the people's perception. You feel that how would they feel when I speak? Will they take me positively? Will they lose respect towards me? Will they reject me? What will happen? Now, it's very important to realize that when you have those thoughts happening in your mind, what will happen with you in terms of what will they think about you when you are performing, that kills you. That thought kills you. And the pressure of that brings a lot of fear on you when you do public speaking. And that's the reason public speaking is considered to be the most fearful thing globally, as per the research is saying. Now, here is a person who is always on TV, where every small movement is being observed and analyzed. How do you cope with that? And that's the beauty of Michael Jordan, that every comment, every failure, he converts into inner drive to make it better. And this inner drive led him to the team of University of North Carolina, and from there moving to NBA, where he broke numerous records and became one of the best players in the history of basketball. Can you believe this? Someone who was rejected first, and now he's creating history in the game, in the world of basketball. But Michael Jordan faced another challenge. Decades later, so in spite of all these successes, the challenge is the failure never left his journey. When he became the owner of NBA basketball franchise, the Charlotte Bobcats, at that time, the business was low. So Jordan used his own money because the team was not doing good. The team was struggling to succeed in the games, and there were hardly any money. So he used his own money to cover the significant operating losses the team was experiencing. Now think about it. A team owned by Michael Jordan and not doing good. What kind of pressures you will get through when you fail there? In 2011-12 season, the team earned a mere 7 wins alongside 59 losses. The worst record of any team ever in the history of NBA. Now your team is doing super duper failures. Your team is not being able to win a double-digit games. What happens to you? People are blaming you. People are pinpointing you. The connections from the community was depleting. The sponsors were moving out. All these, at this point in time, he decides to focus on where he's good. He said, let me not focus on the team. Let me focus on creating a bigger image, connecting with community. In addition to their disastrous record, the Bobcats had poor community support. The Bobcats brand was synonymous with disappointment. Despite having one of the best basketball brands of all time, and at the helm, the Michael Jordan himself. So he restructured the whole thing. They also renamed the whole thing. And then instead of focusing towards failure, focus towards success, build a better community connect, and they grew and then made all the huge records by the team. Now that's the journey of Michael Jordan, from a rejected school guy to the world's biggest and the most popular basketball champion. And here I feel so proud in saying this word champion, the synonym to Michael Jordan. I have missed, and look at the statistics, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. 26 times I have been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. So each failure gave a tremendous boost for the energy which you would bring into him for success. So again, I would like to invite you, and I'm sure all of you are doing a fantastic job, to tell me, what have you learned from the journey of Michael Jordan? Please go to the chat box and quickly tell me, what have you learned from this journey? Ganesh is saying winning mindset. Wow. Ganpati saying childhood failure gives great success. Arunima is saying using failure to push you to do better. Brilliant, Arunima. Thank you. Chinna Swami is saying keep focus, target. Absolutely. And especially in the sports, your target. Because to be very honest, in the game of sports, everything is visible. Everything is visible in terms of numbers. Number of games you have played, number of games you have defeated, number of games you were successful, number of shots you have done. And when everything happens with number, it is either black or white. There's no gray. And here it's very important. And everything is happening live on the national TV. It's so important to understand. Sarvana is saying, during every setback and disappointment, bounce forward with double efforts. Brilliant. Nitin Kumar is saying, try, and try. Till then, you win. Wow, super. Satish is saying, trust the skills and keep working on it. Wow. Arunima is saying, absolutely. Sarvana, put in more efforts when you rise up again. Thank you, Arunima, for that brilliant support. Ganesh is saying, being team player and intelligence. Wow. Pratish saying, understand your strength and go for it. Brilliant, guys. Super. Thank you very, very much for your super contribution. Let me bring in the points which I have brought for each one of you. What lessons we have learned. Use failure as a fuel for hard work. Each time he failed, it gave him tremendous amount of energy to come back and make it bigger and succeed. Don't let it stop you. Instead, use it to push you to do better. But those negative thoughts, those thoughts of demotivation should not take over. Each failure must give you that positivity to make it even bigger and go to the field and show to the world. Fear of failure will only stop you from achieving success. If you are not failing, you are not trying. And believe me, guys, the fear of failure is much bigger than the actual failure. People don't take risk. People don't attempt. People don't even try because of the fear of failure. But we don't realize that the potential what we have to succeed is much, much more higher than our fear of failure. It's very important to realize that each time we quit, we are missing out on a very, very big opportunity. Even the public speaking, we have seen the fear of failure is much higher. Even today, when we are in the pandemic, in the COVID-19 situation, the fear of corona is much higher than the actual corona. When we look at the numbers, the people who are able to recover from corona is much higher than people suffering right now. Still, that fear is killing a lot of people. It's very important to realize that we should move out of this fear of failure and go and showcase to the world the success will come to you. Find a solution. When you hit a roadblock, don't waste your energy and time panicking. Take a moment to gather yourself and find a solution. It exists. Now here, what is important? A belief system. The solution do exist. The moment I feel that now the roadblock and I'm stuck, I cannot think about anything else and I'm gone. Now that's your mindset. That's purely your thoughts. If you also have a thought, no, there is a way out. There is a success waiting for me. Probably I'm not able to visualize that right now, but it exists. That belief system will take you to a new height. So that was an amazing journey of Michael Jordan. And let's continue with the Shahenshah of Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan. Wonderful, guys. I'm sure all of us would be very, very happy to know amazing journey, a roller coaster ride, what Amitabh Bachchan has gone through. The first thing, and battles in the Big B's life. Can you believe? Before he tried to get into Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan was rejected by All India Radio because they did not like his voice. Today, all of us are big fan of Amitabh Bachchan, but he was rejected primarily because of his voice. Okay, Mohammed Amir saying his first 7 films flopped. Absolutely. He's a fighter. Very good. So let's see what happened in his journey. Someone who was aspiring to become a radio artist goes on a radio All India Radio, because at that point in time, there was no FM. There's only All India Radio. And you are rejected because of your voice. How devastating it would be, because on radio, one thing which is the most critical is your voice. And you've been rejected because they said that your voice is not good enough for radio. Having understood that, what happened next? He was rejected during his first few auditions because he was too tall. At that point in time, Indian Bollywood industry was not prepared to accept a hero who was tall. And along with that, when he did his first initial movies, all were super duper flop. He had a dry run at the box office. At the start of his career, he was tagged as failed newcomer. Ab sochiye, he was being branded or tagged as the failed newcomer. He had nearly 13 successive flops before his first hit, Zanjeer. Think about it. 13 movies back to back, all flop. So many failures, so many devastating moments, and you still have to survive. Survive for that success. Survive with the belief that you can success. And then you get Zanjeer, and overnight, it's a super duper hit. But does that make life easy? He started becoming successful. However, at the height of his popularity, he had a near fatal accident. This led to him taking a hiatus for a few years, especially when he was shooting for a movie called Coolie. Major accident, the whole country prayed for him. And then he came out of this. But then a lot of people thought that now it's the end of his career. But Shahansa is Shahansa. He grew up and he again faced a series of commercial failures, after which he went into a semi-retirement. So when he took a retirement, now it's age where you need to move out. And again, you are reaching towards failure. In the 90s, and this is very, very interesting, Amitabh Bachchan decided to get into film production with ABCL, which is Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited. However, with its inability to pay its dues and continuous failures, the company collapsed. And Amitabh Bachchan found himself almost bankrupt and in huge debt. Mahanayak of Bollywood industry. People felt, and there were comments, that now Amitabh Bachchan is gone. He's completely gone. He will never ever be able to get up. But your vision, your dedication, your honesty, and willingness to go to people and ask for help made a big difference in his life. During this bankruptcy, he had to ask Yash Chopra for a job, leading him to appear in Mohabbatein. And obviously we know how Mohabbatein, the movie where he was a dean of a university, and what a fantastic performance, made him a good comeback. But it was difficult to pay his debts. He gained back his stardom by becoming the host of Kaun Banega Crorepati. Think about it. You are in big debt. People have felt that he will never ever be able to come up. A big star would never want to come on a smaller screen on TV. And he takes a decision and says yes to Star TV for Kaun Banega Crorepati. And all of us know that today we have multiple seasons of Kaun Banega Crorepati, and how he changed the whole scenario of game, scenario of TV. When Ramayana came, people used to say that in India, Sunday morning, when Ramayana used to get published, people felt that it's curfew outside. The same thing happened again in the history of television. When Kaun Banega Crorepati used to telecast, they were like a curfew outside. Now that's the power of a man who could grow from his own failure. He then took a short break from movies to join politics. He had a short-lived career in politics because he wasn't able to fulfill his promises. And now, in the comeback, as a senior most person, look at the couple of amazing movies, okay, like Pa or Chini Kam or Black. Fantastic performance. And today, by default, he is the Shahanshah of Bollywood industry. Having understood this life of Amitabh Bachchan, I would like to come back to you quickly to give me what have you learned, life lessons from Amitabh Bachchan. Quickly go into the chat box and tell me what have you learned as lessons from Amitabh Bachchan, the Mahanayak of Indian Bollywood industry. Fans is saying no age for success. Wow. Pratyush saying he's a fighter. Sometimes rejection helps you to achieve bigger things. Only thing you need to believe in yourself. Brilliant. Pratyush, brilliant. Believe me, guys, the way all of you are responding so positively, I'm feeling so much motivated and better. The way all of you are doing a great job. Mohammad Amir saying people opinion doesn't matter. Nitin is saying never defeat to any type of situation. Wow. Nawal is saying failure takes you feel shame to seek help from others during deep failures. Wow. Arunima is saying important to put your ego aside when you face a setback and ask for help. So much important that you are okay to ask for help, and asking for help is not a bad thing because you are also prepared to help others whenever and wherever required. Shiva Lika is saying he converted his weakness into strength, his voice. Yes, absolutely. And today when we say, Kaun banega karodpati, we feel, wow, it's Amitabh Bachchan. Or when we say, Sahi Jawab, or we say, Devi or Sajjano, that's all the trademark. And we can feel the voice of Amitabh Bachchan. Brilliant. Ganapati is saying, keep on fight with bad times. Harmeet is saying, only one life, use the fullest of it. Absolutely. Pratyush is saying, recently he defeated Corona with so many health issues. Wow, absolutely. Nitin Kumar is saying, right, Arunima, I agree with you. Yes, Arunima, you're getting support. Super. So let me quickly bring up to you the points which I have brought for each one of you on the lessons to learn from Amitabh Bachchan. You can always rise after facing a failure or setback. You can always rise. Amitabh Bachchan faced a massive financial loss with the collapse of his company, but he found a way to come back to the top by hosting KBC. And don't shy away from seeking help. Trying to revive his dying career at the turn of the millennium, he turned to Yash Chopra for help, which led him in casting in the highly successful film Mohabbatein. Even when in Mumbai we see the Bandra Worli Sea Link, the government official when they were making it never thought that hey, we will make it. They went to 10 different countries to ask for help in terms of giving them ideas. Now it's very, very important that each time you go for ask for help, you are not becoming a smaller. You are becoming bigger because you also have a commitment to help the universe in the back. Nitin is saying this is here. Yes, right, Arunima, he agrees with you because when you help to anyone, then you also take a help to anyone. Absolutely. Age in the mind, youth is in the smile. Ganesh, a brilliant line by you. Thank you very, very much. At this point in time, I would like to invite you for a small exercise. Think of a failure you have faced in your life. Any failure which you have faced, experienced in your life. And come up with 3 learnings that came out of that failure. And please share that on the chat box. So think about it. Now is the time for us to become more reflective. Now is the time for us to become more introspective. Think about any failure. No need to share your failure. Just share your learnings from that failure so that your learning can be a great help to others to also learn. Think about it. Go to the chat box and write down. Here's the time for you to become slightly more reflective and introspective. Take your time, think about it, reflect upon, and keep connecting from what we have learned from the whole presentation, which will help you to connect with your failure and what you have learned through that failure. Keep thinking. Keep thinking about your own failure. Feel the emotions, what you have gone through when you face that failure. And also think what you have learned from it and share it on the chat box. Sarvana Kumar is saying move forward. Wow. Hemant Kaur is saying not to prove but to improve. Learn what went wrong. I can also become headlines. Yeah, yes, you can. And you will. I'm sure, Hemant, you will. And all of us are eagerly waiting to see you at the headlines. Sarona is saying, put your focus and attention on other things which you think will get you success. Brilliant. Muhammad Amir is saying, only you can support your dream. It is your dream. It is your dream, only you can support. And leave no stone unturned. You don't want to regret later. Absolutely. Be consistent. Don't get demotivated after a failed attempt. Absolutely. Jagat is saying, I believe whatever failure we have to move forward. Absolutely. Thank you. Sarvana is saying, correct your mistakes and retry it. Wow, super. Ganapati is saying that in my personal life, I bought new house in 2012, which is badly affected by floods in 2015. I'm sorry, Ganapati, I was at road along with my family for 10 days. After that, I got all but lesson. It is tough. It is taught us while purchasing things, what are the things must. And second is savings. This I have learned from my failure. Ganapati, thank you for sharing this. Very, very touchy. Arunima saying, I think the one thing I have learned from my failure is not to get caught up in what went wrong. I would spend a lot of time getting upset about it, but I realized that did not lead to anything productive. Instead, I have started going to solution mode now. I learn from what went wrong and use that learning to improve my next approach. Arunima, brilliant. Believe me, with that approach, we are also learning. Jagat is saying, learn as many as you can from your mistakes or failures. Shivalika is saying, number one, have patience. Great things take time. Yeah, great things take time. Great things take time. Two, you become better version of yourself. Absolutely. Learn from mistakes. Learn to unlearn. Wow. Thank you, Shivalika. Pratyush is saying, way of working, which I learn. And way of working, I call it wow. Our wow and our way of working, Pratyush is saying, which I learned from my first company, was excellent, but when I joined other company, it was just opposite. I failed miserably. When I joined new company, I adopted unlearn and learn approach. Brilliant. Debash is saying, keep trying after analysis, what leads to failure, documentation of failure, stay focused without stressing on self, take guidance from mentor. Debash is absolutely right. Ganesh is saying, breakthrough in passionate dream career after 14 years due to working on strength. 2, critical thinking and learning from my own conclusions. And 3, stay focused, stay hungry. Wow. And also sometimes stay foolish. 4, connecting the dots. 5, right association. Brilliant. So Ganesh, you being part of this, I must tell you, you are in the right association of people where all of us are committed to grow together and also support each other the way all of you are doing right now in the chat box for every one of us. Satish Kumar is saying, people will criticize on failure and you are successful people will, and your success people will tell luck. Work for you and move on. Absolutely. If you have some initial success, well, hey, lucky hai. What the luck tha? Because of the luck you happened, but your perseverance, so continuous and consistent efforts will take you to the newer heights. Pratyush saying, I share my failures with my son and I also I bounce back. Brilliant, Pratyush. Thank you very, very much for your amazing responses. Let me quickly move towards the summary of all the learning what we had. Number 1, don't give up, always push through and you will emerge successful. Stay focused and be patient. Take responsibility, realize failure is not the end of the road. You can always find a way to rise after facing failure or setbacks. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Learn from them and move on. Sometimes failure simply means changing the direction. Use failure as fuel for hard work. Fear of failure will only stop you from achieving success, from attempting it and then achieving the success. Don't mop in failure, find a solution. And last, don't shy away from seeking help when faced with failure. Here's a great summary of all the wonderful learnings from all these famous failures. At this point in time, if you can just write down in one word your takeaway from the session, it would be great for each one of us. Just quickly write down what are you taking away from this session, along with how are you feeling right now, your emotions and your takeaway. Please go to the chat box and write now. Nitin saying that my experience to learn failure was that when I was lost or failed, I'm thought about it, but I'm gonna wrong. Then I never do those mistakes again. Super. So here comes takeaways and feelings. Satish is saying stay positive. Harmeet is saying previous slide, please. Yeah, I will do that, surely. Jagat Singh is saying don't stuck on your failure. Please keep on writing your takeaways in the chat box. Believe in yourself. Absolutely believe in yourself. Vinay Kulkarni is saying believe in yourself. Brilliant. Keep sharing your top takeaway, which you think you have learned. And the difference between learning and takeaway is exactly what you're going to go back and implement in your life. Sarvana Kumar is saying resilience, bounce forward and redouble your efforts. Finally, never give up attitude. Very, very important. Pratyush is saying challenge yourself and move on. Keep growing. Wonderful, wonderful, Pratyush. Mohammed is saying takeaways, be disciplined enough to give it one more shot. Everyone mentioned in the slides gave too many attempts. Bounce forward. Know what you are good at and stick to it. Ganapati is saying we shouldn't fear on failure. We can learn from that and come up in life. Wow. Rajesh is saying stay focused, never give up. Shivalika is saying learn to take responsibility, don't lose hope. No one can stop you except you. Absolutely. And resilience. Brilliant, guys. Thank you very, very much for all your amazing learnings and takeaways. Ganesh is saying keeping myself charged up with regular learning insights from famous personalities on failures and success. Implement and execute learning from other failure. Always follow yourself. Be confident. Always try again. Wow. Brilliant, guys. At this point in time, let me share a small feedback with you. I would really request you to please take this feedback. I'm going to share a poll right now for you to give the feedback. Yes. Please rate this session on a scale of 5 being excellent and 1 being below average. Please rate your session. Last 10 seconds for you to give your feedback. Quickly give your feedback and then we can move on. Okay, thank you very, very much for your contribution in the form of this feedback. Ganapati saying, excellent, sir. Thank you very, very much, Ganapati. Okay, so don't forget, self-paced masterclass. You will be able to access the self-paced classes on the dashboard within 7 days of the session. Email insights, all club members will receive an email insights every day from Monday to Friday. And email and SMS communication emails may be in your spam or promotions folder. Move them to your primary inbox and don't miss the update, because these updates are really amazing. A lot of thoughtful updates we are sharing with each one of you. And what's coming up? 16th August, Sunday, Dress to Impress, a guide to men's grooming. And 23rd August, Sunday, is Building Brand You, Perception Management. So we have something amazing stuff coming in for each one of you. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you very, very much for each one of you for an amazing session. I am really feeling charged up and motivated with the way all of you have participated and responded. My humble gratitude to each one of you for your super participation. And believe me, I have loved conducting this session primarily because of you. Thank you very, very much. Wow, some amazing response. Thank you. Impressive session. You're enthusiastic and energetic. Thank you. Thank you, Sarvana. What a session, sir. Every motivational speaker talks only about success. For the first time, I have attended this session talking about failures. Thank you. Thanks to the entire team. I think the whole team, Work Better team, deserves a big compliments for pulling this in an amazing way. Sarvana saying a lot of motivation, learning, learned today. Vinay saying thank you for awesome session. Shivalika saying thanks for the energetic session. Thank you. Ganesh is saying thank you so much. It was wonderful, an amazing session. Harmit is saying 10 out of 10. Sure, a great Sunday. Harmit, thank you very, very much. I also feel 10 on 10 because of all of you. Chinna Swami is saying thank you, sir. Guys, thank you very, very much. At the end, I just want to share one small shairi. चट्टानों को चटका दो, रवानी उसको कहते हैं. चट्टानों को चटका दे, रवानी उसको कहते हैं. एक बार सुनते ही दिल पर नक्श हो जाए, कहानी उसको कहते हैं. नहीं मालूम आपको करिश्मा कैसा होता है, नहीं मालूम आपको करिश्मा कैसा होता है. पलट दे जो हिमालय को, failures उसको कहते हैं. And these failures are your friends. These failures are your biggest strength. So keep converting these failures into super success. And I'm sure not one or two, every one of us would be on headlines with positive achievements. Thank you very, very much. See you very, very soon on some other Sunday, continuing with this motivational series. A big shout out to the entire Work Better team for making it a great session for each one of us. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.